What is going on, guys? My name is 4G. So today I wanted to talk about why I am concerned when it comes to Fortnite Chapter 6's upcoming movement changes, because they are going to be adding some mechanics into this game that are actually quite concerning. Now, they could absolutely ruin the game and make it very frustrating to play, or I could be wrong and it could make the game absolutely the best it's ever been. I don't know. We have to find out and see, but I did want to discuss this in this video, so let's get right into it. So the first thing is something that is not very controversial, or I don't think there's any problem with this in particular. No one's really talking about this, but I still wanted to add this in since we're talking about upcoming potential Chapter 6 movement. And by the way, this is all from leaks, specifically from Hypex, so a very credible leaker in the community. So I just want to make that very clear. There's no guarantee that this is happening, but based off of previous leaks, this is a very credible source. So the first new movement mechanic is swinging, and I think that this honestly sounds like a good idea. Out of the different things that they're adding, I think that this is a pretty good thing. This sounds pretty cool. I mean, it sounds pretty gimmicky for sure, but I do think that how I imagine them doing it is maybe we'll have some sort of jungle biome or something of the sort, and there will be vines, and you could just basically grab them and swing across to the next one. Something like that, instead of how it is where it's an item or whatever it is. I think it's more like a fixed part of the map, almost like zip lines, where you just go up to it, you interact with it, and you can swing across to something like that. I don't know, something like that. I would imagine if it's like that, more so than the Spider-Man gloves that we got back in Chapter 3 Season 1, which, by the way, is probably the only mythic item I will ever say that I want to see return in the future, because those were incredibly fun. I know we have the grappling gloves, but it just wasn't the same. Spider-Man gloves were absolutely incredibly fun, and it's why that season was actually a lot more fun than it otherwise probably would have been if it wasn't for those gloves, because, man, it was just incredibly fun to be swinging across the map. And funny enough, it had better swinging mechanics than most proper Spider-Man games, which is kind of funny to say. Either way, point is, these were very fun, other than when you weaken someone and then they would just swing away because you had 80 swings, which is a lot, but they nerfed it many times over the course of that season. But yeah, that's basically how we've seen swinging in Fortnite since then, and I don't think we've seen it since, other than with grappling gloves. Yeah, grappling gloves, those are the swinging mechanics we've already seen, but I do think, like I said, it will be part of the map rather than an actual item. I could be wrong, though. I just don't know how they would make an item and make it different than the Spider-Man gloves or the grappling glove. But anyways, let's get to the concerning portion of this video, okay? The concerning portion is that if these leaks are true, we will be seeing prone being added to Fortnite, aka lying down, okay? We don't need this in Fortnite. I'm going to be completely real. Let's just get this right off the bat, all right? We do not need this in Fortnite. We do not. And this is going to be a mechanic that is absolutely going to be abused. And maybe to some people that's okay. I mean, hell, if it's in the game, I'm going to use it to my full extent, okay? I'm going to use it as much as I possibly can if it's in the game, because we will be able to probably drop shot. And I can tell you right now, as a long-term Call of Duty player, this is annoying, and nobody wants to be drop shotted, okay? It is a very frustrating thing to go against, and I know some people will say it's some sort of skill. It's not a skill, okay? It's not a skill to press one button and to completely throw off your enemy's aim. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Real quick, if you are enjoying this video, it would greatly help out if you did hit that like button down below. It helps the channel more than you might know, and I would greatly appreciate it. All right, but either way, I don't think that it's a very fun mechanic to play against, because you can't just think about how it is fun when you are using it, because maybe when you are using it yourself, it's fun. Sure, you want to be a rat kind of player? Sure, drop shot someone. But you also got to think of how it feels to play against it, and when you play against it, it's not fun at all. It's absolutely game ruining sometimes, and I think we have enough of those in the game. Stupid mythics that are absolutely broken, and they love to add them every single season. They add some new mythic. I'm sure they'll add something in Chapter 6 Season 1 that will absolutely be annoying to play against, right? We have enough of those things, all right? We don't also need someone to drop shot, or maybe hiding in a bush, but now, oh, look at that, Jonesy's on the ground. He's lying down watching Netflix on his phone. Like, no one wants that in Fortnite. I'm gonna be completely real. Actually, maybe you do if you really like to play like that, but I don't think it's a good idea overall. So this definitely does concern me, I will say that, but I will keep it open mind. Maybe it'll make the game better. But the reason I'm so concerned is it's not usually just for a season. It's usually once they add this into the game, it is in the game forever. I mean, look at Chapter 5 movement. It's been here for the entire chapter. Not only that, but it got its way into the Chapter 2 remix. They don't care. They add it into the game, it's there. You don't like it? Too bad. With the movement mechanics, they add and add and add. They never remove. They never go back on it. So from, in my opinion, Chapter 4 movement was absolute peak, with mantling, sliding, the extra sprint in combination with the OG movement animations. I think that was the absolute perfect peak movement, and we're only going down from here, in my opinion. I can only imagine someone drop shotting in a box fight or something and hiding behind a pyramid or something, and it just probably would end up being so buggy looking. I don't know. This game wasn't designed with prone in mind from the beginning. I just don't think it would work that well. I could be wrong. I keep saying that because I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I want it to be the best mechanic. I want it to be something that they add to the game that I really enjoy, but I don't think I will, because like I I said, I've been playing Call of Duty for years, and dropshotting is very frustrating to play against. No matter how good your aim is, it feels very ratty to die to that every single time. Now, there could be some sort of mechanic in place that prevents you from being able to drop shot, or rather, you can drop shot, but you're not going to be able to actually hit your shot as accurately as you would if you were standing still or whatever. I think that might be good, because in games like Rainbow Six Siege, you cannot aim down your sights, for an example, while your character is transitioning from standing to lying down, which is good, but at the same time, you can still hit your shot. At the end of the day, you can still shoot, and it's still a very frustrating mechanic to play against. And I think games are better when you can't do that. I mean, for an example, X-Defiant, that is a game that is similar to Call of Duty, but there is absolutely no way you can go prone, and I remember when that game came out, that was the #1 thing I was praising about that game. The lack of that mechanic in a shooter is so nice because it prevents people from playing like rats. Now, the biggest concern with all of this is the fact that this is going to leak into the return of Chapter 1, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think it's going to completely change up the game for the worst, whereas right now we're playing with Chapter 5 movement, which already ruins the movement, in my opinion. I think it feels clunky, and it just doesn't feel as good as the original Chapter 4 movement. But either way, it still somewhat acts like Fortnite movement. Even if it doesn't look like Fortnite movement, it acts like it. When you add prone into that, it's going to completely change up the game. You're going to see rats lying in bushes, lying around corners, and waiting for you to turn the corner. Something. It's going to completely change the game, and not in a good way. And I'm very much not looking forward to this in particular. And like I said, with Chapter 1 returning, that's going to completely ruin Chapter 1, in my opinion. I think that we can deal with the Chapter 5 movement. It's not going to be good, but to have prone in there, yeah, no, that's not a good idea, in my opinion. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is going to be the best thing they've ever added to the game. Maybe it completely fixes every issue I've ever had with Fortnite, but somehow I doubt that. Now, something I wanted to add on to this is when it comes to things like dropshotting, if that is the case, well, it's going to be kind of weird if you're on controller. First of all, I don't know how they keep adding all these different movement mechanics and putting it onto a controller. I mean, especially with building in this game, there's only so many buttons on a controller. I don't understand it. But also with aim assist being as weak as it is nowadays, I think going from standing to prone within a second or whatever is going to be very frustrating for controller players. I can tell you that much. I mean, it's frustrating for even keyboard and mouse players, but I'd imagine it's even worse on controller, especially with their more recent human-like aim assist, which I think is a good thing. I think that's really good. But if you add some sort of ability to drop shot into the game, well, I think that might kind of destroy the balance between keyboard and mouse. I think it's in a good place right now personally, but I'm not so sure that it would be in a good place if they added some sort of movement mechanic like this. I think, yeah, now you're going too far in the direction of keyboard and mouse being stronger and stronger, and I just don't think this is a good idea for the game. And also, I already know for a absolute fact, once this drops, if it does drop, I already know there's going to be some weirdos on TikTok or whatever doing some wild with the Chun Li skin and the prone animation. All right, we're calling it now. After some of the crazy stuff I've seen while scrolling through TikTok, I'm pretty sure there will be someone who does this. I'm calling it now. Just saying. The prone mechanic will definitely be a mistake. That is how I can summarize this entire video. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you guys enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new here to like videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.